to the Bohemian Grove sacrifice. Join us. Responsible for the success of numerous politicians, the Skull and Bones is one of the most powerful secret societies in America. Founded in 1832 in the citadels of Yale University, its primary purpose has been to help its members reach positions of power. This has led to concern by some conspiracy theorists, especially due to the society's ritualistic initiation process. Surrounded by artifacts of death, it sees the members participate in a fake human sacrifice, though some believe the murder is all too real. Eerily, journalist Ron Rosenbaum was able to secretly film one of the rituals in action.
Okay.
So
that's where they have the ceremonies in
the outdoor part of it. Part of it was indoors. So we only got to see the outdoor part.
Right.
We only got to, and to listen to the outdoor part. God only knows what went on indoors.
And what did you hear? What was it you know? You managed to get this unique
it was disgusting. It was gross. I mean, they were pretending to murder people.
What was the tone of it, though? Was it jokey, or was it quite...
No, it wasn't jokey at all. It was sick. It's about the only thing to describe it. It was sick.
What you're hearing is the first recording ever made of the Skull and Bones initiation ceremony. It has never been broadcast before. 15 new members of the club are being introduced into the macabre rituals of Skull and Bones by the senior students who are about to graduate. The club has what some might see as a strange fascination with death, skulls and bones. There's the chants too, difficult to hear first of all, but including the devil equals death, and death equals death.
If the Skull and Bones is the initiation of future leaders, Bohemian Grove is where they end up. Established in 1872, it holds yearly meetings of some of the most powerful men in the world. Unsurprisingly, because of its secretive nature, it has spawned multiple conspiracies. Now there's plenty of information I'll leave for a future video, but simply put, the Grove is said to perform various insidious acts. These include the sexual exploitation of children, human sacrifices, and ritualistic murder. All this is in service of the Great Owl of Bohemia, an idol believed to be a stand-in for Moloch, an ancient demon. Of course, however, these are simply theories, yet they received substantial credibility in summer 2000, when radio host Alex Jones was able to infiltrate the Grove. Accompanied by cameraman Mike Hansen, the pair were able to film the cremation of Care, the infamous ceremony in which the club worships the Great Owl.
As we sat there in the darkness, not knowing what we were about to see in the gathering crowd, suddenly, across the small lake, we saw a carriage with men in black and brown cloaks, robes, in front and in back, bearing a bound body. Remember, it was a hidden camera and at somewhat of an angle. Suddenly, all around the owl, activity began. Here is the main central part of the ritual.
The owl is in his leafy temple. Let all within the grove be reverent before him. Lift up your heads, O ye trees, and be ye lifted up, ye everlasting spires. For behold, here is Bohemia's shrine, and holy are the pillars of this house. Weaving spiders, come not here. Bohemians and priests, the desperate call of heavy hearts is answered. By the power of your fellowship, dull care is slain. His body has been brought yonder from the funeral pyre to the joyous pipings of a funeral march.
Disturbingly, Jones believed he could see a wrapped up infant, while some viewers have heard screaming as the effigy is lit.
Begone, dull care. Fire shall have its will of thee. Begone, dull care. And all the winds, make merry with thy doubts. Hail, fellowship's eternal flame. again, Midsummer sets us free.
In the aftermath of a tragedy, it makes sense that people will turn to conspiracies. However, whilst most of these can be dismissed, others, such as 9/11, raise many questions. Now, there's too much to cover in one short slot, but basically, theorists believe that the towers were destroyed by a controlled demolition. Eerily, there are many pieces of evidence that could prove this theory, but one that is rarely covered is the so-called Harley guy. In an infamous news interview, filmed just after the second tower fell, the witness seems to calmly and concisely describe what exactly happened in what would become the very basis for the official report. This has led to theories that he's a crisis actor, one reading a pre-written script.
It was like a movie, but you watched the planes hit the towers.
I was watching with my roommate. It was approximately several minutes after the first plane had hit. I saw this plane come out of nowhere and just ream right into the side of the Twin Tower, exploding through the other side. And then I witnessed both towers collapse, one first and then the second, mostly due to structural failure because the fire was just too intense.
Obviously, there were a lot of people inside the buildings at the time.
Two guys from the 7th precinct, the 1st precinct, the fire department right here, the 7th truck, those guys are all right there at ground zero when those things went down.
Meanwhile, after the reporter finishes with this witness, he turns to a man in a black suit. Bizarrely, when asked what his role is, he replies he doesn't know yet. As such, some contend he may be a CIA plan, one who was caught off guard.
A big issue right now is trying to get the rescue workers and the emergency crews to the building. There were police officers there and emergency crews there when this was all happening, and they were right at ground zero when it all went down. Can we talk to you? What's your role out here right now?
Just standing by right now. Can't say what role I'm playing right now.
Well,
the media favourite, former Vice President Joe Biden, is set to become the Democratic presidential nominee for 2020. However, it seems he has a darker past than what was believed, one that has been entirely buried by YouTube. Recently, former Biden staff member, Tara Reid, alleged that he had sexually assaulted her back in 1993. In an interview with podcast host Katie Harper, she recounted her side of the story.
He went down my skirt but then up inside it, and he penetrated me with his fingers, whatever. And
Now, it should be acknowledged that Biden has vigorously denied these allegations, yet disturbingly, Reid's account isn't the only example of his supposed unnerving behaviour. During the US Senate ceremonial in 2015, he routinely kissed and sniffed the senator's daughters.
Okay, right hand down. Here's the official.
Can I go with Jess alone?
Very good. Dad's gonna stand pretty close.
She's a lovely child. Do you know what my dad used to say? Your granddaughters have one important job. Take care of their pop. That's the most important one.
Okay, and the gentleman with the baby, could you guys come over to the front?
In particular, Biden's interaction with 13-year-old Margaret Coons attracted the most controversy.
Maggie, do you want to come over here?
Come over here. Come on, baby. Make me look better, okay? There we go.